I turned 90 this spring, and the strangest part is how fast the important years hid inside ordinary days. I remember working late nights, telling myself I would make space for what mattered later. Later arrives quietly. Here's the truth. Most people don't lose time all at once. They trade it away in small emotional priorities that feel urgent but aren't. Stay with me, and I'll share the lesson it took me decades to understand while you can still use it. I wish someone had pulled me aside when I was 35 and said, "The way you're spending your attention right now is building a life you won't recognize in 20 years. But no one did, and I wouldn't have listened anyway. I was busy. Everyone around me was busy. We mistook motion for meaning. Here's what I've noticed watching people my whole life. We think time is the problem. We say we don't have enough of it. But time isn't what we're losing. It's focus. It's presence. It's the ability to tell the difference between what feels important in the moment and what actually matters when you look back. I spent years managing a small accounting firm. Every April, I'd tell my wife I'd slow down after tax season. Every April became every August. Then it was after the year-end close. Then after the next hire settled in. I built an entire career on the word after. The strange thing is, I love my family. I wasn't choosing work over them in some dramatic way. I was just managing urgency, returning calls, fixing problems, staying on top of things. Those tasks felt like they couldn't wait. My daughter's school play could wait. My son's questions about fractions could wait. Sunday morning pancakes could wait. They all waited. And then one day, my daughter was graduating college, and I realized I had almost no memories of her between ages 7 and 14. I was there. I was physically present in the house, but I was solving other people's problems in my head while she grew up 3 feet away from me. That's the pattern I see everywhere now. We don't abandon the people we love. We just put them in a queue behind everything that creates noise. Here's another thing nobody tells you. The moments that end up mattering aren't the ones you plan. They're not the vacations you save up for or the milestone events you mark on a calendar. Those are fine. But the memories that stay with you are ordinary. They're the 17 minutes you spent helping someone fold laundry while talking about nothing. They're the drive home from the grocery store when your son finally told you what was bothering him at school. You can't schedule those moments. You can only be available for them. And availability isn't about having free time. It's about having free attention. I remember one Saturday when I was 48. My wife asked me to help her plant tomatoes in the backyard. I said yes, but I brought my phone. I was waiting on a call about a client issue. The call never came. But I checked my phone 9 times in 30 minutes. I have no memory of planting those tomatoes. I have a very clear memory of the look on her face when she stopped asking me to help with things. That look cost me more than any business problem I was worried about. You think you'll make up for it later. You think there's a phase of life coming where everything calms down and you'll finally have space to be present. But life doesn't calm down. It just changes what it's loud about. First it's your career. Then it's your kids' schedules. Then it's your health. Then it's caring for aging parents. The noise never stops. You just get older inside it. I'm not saying work doesn't matter. It does. I'm not saying you shouldn't care about doing things well. You should. But here's what I learned too late. The people who feel urgent aren't always the people who are important. And the people who are important rarely feel urgent until they're gone. My son lives 4 states away now. We talk every few weeks. He's kind about it, but I can tell he learned early that I wasn't really available. So he stopped needing me to be. You can't undo that. You can't go back and be the father who was present when it mattered. You just become the father he's polite to. I think about the hours I spent worrying about things that didn't happen. Client complaints that resolved themselves. Problems that someone else fixed. Emails I thought needed immediate responses that no one even remembered a week later. All those hours belonged to someone. They belonged to my wife when she needed someone to listen. They belonged to my kids when they were figuring out who they were. They belonged to friendships I let fade because I was too tired to call back. I used to think regret was about the big decisions, the job you didn't take, the place you didn't move to, but that's not it. Regret lives in the small exchanges you rushed through, the conversations you had while doing something else, the moments you were invited into but declined because you were managing something that felt more pressing. My wife died 6 years ago. We had 53 years together. People say that's a long time, and it is. But when I think back, the years I actually remember, the ones that feel solid and real, maybe add up to 15. The rest is fog. I was there, but I wasn't paying attention. After she passed, I found a box of letters she'd written to her sister over the years. I wasn't snooping. Her sister gave them to me, thought I'd want them. In one letter from 1991, she wrote about feeling lonely even though I was home every night. She said I was kind but distant, that I was always preparing for the next thing instead of being in the current thing. Reading that gutted me. Not because she was cruel about it. She wasn't. She was just honest. And she was right. You'd think knowing that would have changed me faster. It didn't. I read that letter when I was 71. By then, most of the damage was done. You can't relive decades. You can only see them clearly once they're gone. Here's what nobody prepares you for. The people who love you will adjust to your absence long before you realize you've been absent. They'll stop expecting you to be present. They'll stop inviting you into moments, not out of anger, just out of efficiency. It's easier to not need someone than to keep being disappointed. I see younger people now, and I watch them do the same thing. They're at dinner with their family, but they're checking messages. They're on a walk with someone they care about, but they're distracted by what happened at work. They think they're good at multitasking. They're not. They're just splitting their attention so thin that nothing gets the best of them. The cost of that doesn't show up right away. It shows up years later when you realize you weren't actually there for most of your life. You were adjacent to it. I had a friend, Frank, who died when we were both 62. Heart attack in his driveway. We'd known each other since high school. The week before he died, he called and asked if I wanted to drive up to the lake where we used to fish as kids. I said I would, but I had a busy month. Let's do it in October, I told him. October never came for Frank. I didn't go to that lake until I was 76. Took my grandson. Told him stories about Frank and me when we were young. The whole time I kept thinking about that phone call. How easy it would have been to just say yes. To move one meeting. To let one email wait. We treat time like it's infinite for the people we love and scarce for everything else. It's the opposite. The people we love have a deadline we can't see. The emails and meetings and problems will always be there. They regenerate. People don't. If I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it wouldn't be about career moves or money or health, though those matter. It would be this. The people in your life are trying to give you moments. They're offering you chances to be close, to be seen, to matter to them. Every time you choose distraction over presence, you're turning down a gift you can't get back. You think you're postponing connection. You're not. You're declining it. I didn't understand that until it was too late to change the shape of my relationships. I can't get back the years when my kids needed a father who was actually listening. I can't get back the evenings my wife wanted to talk and I was too preoccupied to hear what she wasn't saying. What I have now is clarity. And the clarity is painful, but it's also useful. Because if you're hearing this and you recognize even a little bit of yourself in what I'm describing, you still have time. Not infinite time, none of us do, but enough time to stop trading presence for productivity. Enough time to stop letting noise decide what matters. The lesson I learned too slowly is that life doesn't announce its important moments. They don't come with labels. They look like regular evenings and unremarkable conversations, and if you're not there for them, really there, they pass, and the people who wanted to share them with you stop offering. I'm 90 now. I can't fix what I missed. But you're not 90 yet. And that's the whole point. At this age, what stays with me isn't what I achieved, but who I was truly there for. Attention is the purest form of love most of us can give, and it costs nothing but willingness. The days feel small while you're inside them, yet they become your whole story later. That's the truth I learned slowly. So when the next ordinary moment invites you in, step into it fully. Years from now, that's the place your real life will be waiting.